Hey guys, Bonhamgear here with another video project. Check it out. Hey guys, Bonhamgear back, and we are finishing up this drum kit today. We have the 16 by 16 inch floor tom. We are building a 3-ply 1970 green sparkle John bottom kit. As you can see, we've already done the 10 by 14 inch tom. We've already done the 14 by 26 inch bass drum. We have the 18 and the 16 left to do, and we're working on it today. We have all of our parts laid out. Here's our 16-inch hoops, the 23-inch long legs. John Bonham used the longer legs. We have an Emperor vintage coated for the top head, the batter head, and the vintage coated Ambassador for the bottom. What I love to do is set out all the parts we need ahead of time. We have our 3-ply lugs. If you remember, we've dipped each spring in rubber and put a new piece of felt on the bottom, and then hand polished every single piece to make it look beautiful. We have the tone control, which John really didn't use that much, but this vintage muffler from 1970 has double washers on it, unique to 1970, 69, 1970, 71. We're going to mount this baby on. Each one of these floor toms, because we're going to do 2 videos back to back, has 16 lugs, which means 16 tension rods. Each tension rod came with, as you can see, a brass washer underneath. New rubber feet. We sell those actually. These are the 3-ply screws that go into the drum, and the floor tom leg mounts. And these get put in a very specific position, and I'll show you in a minute. So I lay out all my tools ahead of time, everything we're going to need. These are needed to put in the legs as well as the muffler and things like that, and we lay out all of our parts ahead of time. I'll mount this in a minute, but I wanted to just show you what we're working on now in the main drum room. We are starting to record some videos again. I got a new MIDI system, and as you can see, I've been just playing, adding some microphones onto here, playing some things, so I'm going to release some new videos. I got a new MIDI, 4-channel MIDI. It sounds really good, and I'm excited to get some of those videos out to you guys. But I wanted you to see something specifically with the toms and how these tom legs are put together. People have a lot of questions about where do we actually put these legs that we see are mounted on here, and there's a very specific position, and we'll get to that in a minute. But let's get this drum build started, and we'll go from there. We are back again. I am really excited to be here. If you remember what this is like, and I'll have to show you a close-up in a minute, is these lugs, if you remember correctly, go into here, and what we have to do inside of each one is attach the screws, these little 3-ply screws, you can see. All they do is screw into the shell. Pretty cool. What I like to do is get them all in, and then I'm going to go through and tighten them. So this is a little bit of a tedious process. By the way, I build these with my son, and he loves helping any project that we get to do together. He's a great kid. But we'll start with that. When you're doing these drums, since they're round and they tend to roll around, I've found that it's easier to get 2 of these lugs in, and then it creates a little bit of a base so it doesn't really roll around. And again, these are 3-ply drums. You will not believe how light these things are. They're so incredibly light. They're thin. They have this re-ring. These are the exact drum specs that John would have used. John's first kit was from 1970, somewhere in June or July 1970 he receives the kit. You can see these drums have this re-ring, and they're super incredible light. They're 3-ply maple, poplar maple, or African mahogany, or sometimes the maple, they call it Pennsylvania maple. I'll do a close-up of this. But these badges are even correct to the period, they're correct to the drums, of having 7.5 to 8.0 starting, which means it was sometime in 1970. So these are the real deal. And even when you wrap, a lot of people say, hey man, some of these things are expensive. Yeah, but when the wrap is done professional and correctly, you'll see that the wrap was always just done snug right over the lug or right under the lug. And when Ludwig, you can see the little lip here, you can see how much they went over to make sure that this will never come off again. And again, people are like, well, it's green sparkle, it's rewrapped. Well, this is the exact green sparkle that Ludwig used to use, but Ludwig's green faded to yellow. So if you had a kit today, I have original drums on my main kit that are not rewrapped, but Ludwig drums today are made with a different material. But again, if you had this from the 70s, most of these green sparkles faded to yellow or just became dull, and there's really no way to repair that other than to completely rewrap it, which is kind of heartbreaking, you know. There's a few guys that I follow that collect real green sparkle kits, and again, I have some of these drums. They're absolutely beautiful, but incredibly rare to find in mint condition, like you would have here. And my analogy is always like, well, if you found a vintage car from back in the day and it was all faded and everything, like, wouldn't you repaint it if you were doing a complete restoration? So that's the only thing that's new on these drum kits minus heads. I do actually have original factory heads that I could put on each drum. Every once in a while when somebody procures a drum kit from me, sometimes it might take 6 months or more to find the drums, the correct drums, and build. We usually have that conversation up front. Do you want me to get a kit and get all the original heads and all the pieces just like you would have got from the factory? And to me, that's just extra special. In the years I've been collecting these drums, one year I found a June 1970 date stamped, bottom-sized Black Panther kit that was a matched factory kit, just like John would have got, and we decided not to rewrap it, to keep the original wrap on there because it's beautiful, right? I've had black Cortex kit in John bottom size. I've had white Cortex. I had natural maple. And we've seen these kits are out there, incredibly rare to find and incredibly expensive. So what we do is we try to get the actual specs of everything. Not try, we do. And get them into people's hands so they can have the sound of these great drums. And they are, to me, one of the favorite things. If you look at our other videos out there, you'll see I've recorded some. I'm testing some new things out now that that you can just hear how beautiful these drums are. I like to keep them open, which means I don't have a lot of dampening. I tune them really tight and high the way the big band era used to do. And these drums are just thunderous and loud and tonal, meaning they're melodic in a sense. So, really excited. So in just a few seconds, I'm going to show you what I do to tighten these things. I use a battery-powered like a screw gun, and I'll just go back and tighten them. And I have the tension set on the screw gun, so it will only tighten to a certain amount. These old drums, people think they need to crank things down, and you really don't. You just need to tighten things till they're tight and a little touch more. You don't want things to be too loose that after you play them, they fall apart. But you don't want it to be over tight where it could do damage to the drums. So this is the fun part for me. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. When I get fancy, I'll do 2 at a time. And sometimes I wear gloves when I do this. Other times I don't. I do make sure I wash my hands to try to get as much oil off as possible. In probably just about 10 minutes, you can have one of these drums put together. So I like to take mine apart every once in a while and repolish everything with chrome polish. Especially when we get new drums, we'll take everything apart, assess every part, every piece. You never know what's going on with the integrity of a drum. So it is extremely important to test all the pieces. So here we have it. I'm going to move the camera around because the next thing we're going to do is put in the Ludwig muffler, and it's weird. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So this is where the muffler goes, and I don't know if you saw our other videos, but the muffler has this barrel right here, you can see it. And what we have to do is screw this in, get this hooked on, and tighten it, and then I don't know if anybody can really see this close, but you can see these marks on here. From the factory, they take needle nose pliers or something and just rough up the edges so the barrel cannot fall off. And it's one of the hardest things to get these pieces off. As you can see when we go to do this, we want to make sure when we tighten it back up that this little barrel doesn't fall off again. Now, the hardest thing for me to do is to put these little pieces in. And I'm going to tell you why, because I'm a big guy and I got big fingers. It's hard. The hardest thing I think of this is working with these little tiny screws and these little tiny pieces along the way. You can see when we get in there, you got to really get your fingers in there to make sure these holes line up and all these little tiny screws meet in. And it's something that can be incredibly difficult to do, especially when you're trying to do a lock washer and a bolt. So I just got the little lock washer in there. I don't know if you can really see what I'm doing right now. But you got to hold it. And then I'm going to try to get this little tiny screw in without dropping anything. And then do a light tighten with my screwdriver. And I won't tighten it all the way. I just want it on because the main part for me is to slip this in. As you can see, if you have to zoom in, and get this barrel piece on. It's hard to get them back on after somebody takes it and manipulate it so it doesn't come off. That's really hard to do. You can see I'm going to get in there and get that nice and tight. Okay, so how do we do this, you ask? Let's try find the easiest way for you to see this. What we have to do is grab the needle nose pliers like this and just go back and forth a little bit and put some scratch marks on the end to make sure it doesn't come off. That's it. Super easy. Now we can get back to putting the rest of the drum together. Okay, so here's the interesting part. Now you got everything on. The last thing we do is we put the head on is to put these in position. And it's always weird because somebody's gonna comment on how they like it. I like my things to face backwards. And I'm going to tell you why. So when I sit down to play, I will be able to adjust that leg from wherever I'm sitting. And to me, that's the most important part. Is everybody knows what it's like if you're a drum player out there, that something goes wrong when you play. You drop a stick, a tension rod becomes loose, or a floor tom leg falls off, or your beater falls off. There's always something weird that happens. And what I like to do is to make sure I have the easiest way to get my stuff together. And simply, I just put on the legs up here. That's all you got to do. Put them in. And I go back together one at a time, like I do with the other ones, and just screw things in by hand tighten. Super fun. Getting that little bolt in there. Each Ludwig piece always has a washer, and then you can see there's a lock washer underneath. Really important to make sure you keep them. Over the years, I've picked up tons of vintage parts, and sometimes you can't find things anymore. So often I would go over to Lowe's, and for a replacement washer like these, you can, find them on any shelf. But I love to use all the original parts. So whenever possible, do them. So again, we have that same challenge with the front of the drum. As you can see, I'll do this one facing the back of the drummer. And again, we'll hand tighten everything, and then we'll go back and use our screwdriver to tighten everything further. So washers get bent over the years. I don't know if you can see that. Just weird. So when I put them together, I just flip it over. And we are almost done in a matter of minutes. Just a matter of minutes. We are done. Now, when John played, he had his badge facing forward. Remember, this is our badge. So this would be the position you want your muffler to be at your hip level. We'll walk through it. So this one here is just natural to go this way because it's the closest to the drummer, and if you have to adjust it along the way, boom, you can do it super easy. I like having a method for everything. This way there's a lot of consistency. Okay, lock washer in, bolt in, and tighten by hand. And in just a matter of minutes, we have a working 16 by 16 floor tom. How cool is that? Okay, now I'm just going to go through and tighten each one with the screwdriver. You guys see that? Maybe 4 or 5 things, and I just tighten it till it stops. I'm not going back and trying to over tighten it because you'll damage the screws as well. Try to keep that in. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Again, we'll do another one. And again, we're just hand tightening thing. I don't know why everybody has to just over tighten something. It's not a machine. You don't want to damage the wood in any way. All we have to do is tighten it until it stops. You can't have it too loose that the leg would be bouncing around. That would cause damage to the drums and make a weird sound while you're playing. You don't want that. Plus, I always remember, I'm not somebody that changes heads too often. It's rare for me to change a head or to break a head. And I assume it was probably that same way with those touring musicians. Most of the time, the pros, if you haven't figured it out by now, travel with 2 full sets of everything. And you can see tons of picture with John Bonham's kits where, it's beautiful, right? Where with John's kits that he would have an extra snare in the back, or so, an extra bass drum pedal, because things break along the way. Okay, here's one of my favorite parts. We're going to switch to the tension rods. I'll see you back in a minute. All right, guys, we are back again. We have our tension rods ready to go, and I put the bottom head on first. You'll see it. It's a vintage Remo Ambassador. For the top, we'll have a vintage Emperor coated. What I like to do, if you've seen my other videos, I like to find out where the badge is, the badge hole, and put the logo where the badge head is. As you can see, it's right underneath there. What's up, bud? Oh, your haircut looks good. Yeah. You happy? Yeah. Great. Great. We're finishing up a little video, and we're going to put the drum together. Everybody, come here. Everybody, come here. I want you to say hi to the world. Say hi, I'm Maxie. Hi. Say, I just got my haircut. I got my haircut. Okay. Is Lucas and Elena here?
Wait, Lucas and Elena take ages.
Yeah, so you can help turn that.
You don't need these. I do this one.
Yeah, go ahead. Put it on there. You just got to put it in and screw it in. Here we go. That's my wife in the background. I'm in the process of recording a video, so let's get these heads on real quick, and then we'll go downstairs. All right, Maxie? You get it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn it. All right. One more over this way.
One more this way.
Yeah. Okay. Now.
And we have the other side?
Yeah. So what I do when we tighten heads, Maxie, we do them finger tightened.
Dad, this is on this piece right here.
You gotta spin it. Keep spinning it. Let everybody see that you're spinning it. What happened? No, what'd you do, little buddy? Okay. Okay, I can fix this, little Maxie. All right, what little Maxie did by accident, because you didn't know, Maxie, get that little washer down there. See that washer that fell on the ground? Right down there. Yeah. Okay. Now put the washer on the screw. You did good, and we'll put the second washer on the screw.
See?
And we're gonna tighten this back on. And that's okay. We don't get mad, we don't get frustrated, right, buddy?
I'm going to hold this, okay? I'm going to hold it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna hold it.
Yeah, I just failed.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's get back to tightening these. What I'm doing is I'm just tightening it by hand, okay, Maxie?
Okay.
And what we're going to do is we're going to get some tension on here. And it's how I was taught how to tune drums, is to just finger tighten things and press down to get it as tight as you can by hand. Are you having fun, buddy?
Yeah, to do like a coffee.
Yeah.
Dad, you have a way.
What's that?
You have a way for me. You have a way for me when I get back.
I waited for you, right?
You didn't. You
Yeah.
just filled.
We got the other drum to do.
Oh, you got this one like
Yeah, you're going to help me do that one next. And we're not done with this one yet.
Yeah. Oh, this is going to take so long.
So, this is just hand tightened. Can you hear that? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got my pasty drum key. And we'll just put a little tension on here.
Well, why have a drum key? A drum key, yeah?
Yeah, it's a drum key.
Why?
Well, that's the name of it. And it's technically not a key, like a key to open a door.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is a key for these. It's key to help make the drums sound good. So I'm not going into fixing the tightening now. I just want to be able to get this drum fully together.
Oh, wow.
And we can see we're going to take our badge and I'm going to put the logo right on top of where it goes. All right?
Yeah, and the other piece on it.
Yeah, and then we put our head on again.
Yeah.
All right. Have you helped me do this a lot?
No.
No? Okay. Put this one in. You got to get it in, screw it in.
Dad.
You can do it. Watch. See this one? If you just get it in the hole and twist. All right. You're doing good. You're always a good helper.
What's I doing it, Dad?
Did you get it in? Other way. Spin it the other way.
Did they?
Yep, that way. Did it go in the hole? And I'm going to spin around and see. Good job.
I'm doing it on both
Now, can you spin this one now?
I'm doing it on both sides of the
Yeah. 16 tension rods, 16 lugs. Each one of these tension rods has a breast. Washer.
And I'm going to do this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this one, Dad.
Yeah?
I do both sides. It's never fall off. Dad, you keep moving it.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Yep. And now I'm going to do
Okay.
this. Dad.
Here, do the next one.
And then this one. Move it back.
There we go. Did that help you?
Yeah.
All right. You're doing a good job there, buddy. Now, I'm just trying to get everything tightened by hand first. And I like when I hear that little crack sound. You hear it?
Yeah. Dad, what are these? What are these, Dad?
Yeah, well, we're just filming this video right now to help show people how to rebuild this drum kit. Okay?
And we're going to build this one?
And we'll do that one next, okay?
Whoa.
So as soon as we're done, buddy, we'll go
Dad,
downstairs.
we'll just build this one?
We built that drum already, too. We're building a drum, Mom.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Dad, you done that?
Almost.
This is like spin, spin, spin. Like it.
Okay. All right. Now, finally, we get to put the legs on.
Yeah, see something?
Yeah. And I have a particular way of doing these things, Maxie. So I like to go just to the bottom of the part that's cut in.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yay? What's the other yay?
This one's right here.
We have to do 3 or 1. 1 or 3.
3. Here, tighten this, tighten this. Keep going, keep spinning, keep spinning. Is it nice and tight yet? Oh, I feel it.
Yeah, this is 3. I
Okay.
feel it.
And this is the last one.
Yeah. And you have to do that one. Check. Everything tight.
Okay.
Everything tight.
And we have it here.
And we finished?
Move the box. I don't know why. Push the box under here, buds.
Yeah. Why am I moving your box under there?
So we can show everybody what the finished product looks like. Okay? Okay.
Here.
Here we go. Here is the finished 16 by 16 floor tom. That's a maxi. Okay. What's up, bud? We can see it's very nice. This is meticulous. It's beautiful.
Wait, someone waiting.
Very cool. Okay.
Hey, guys.
Max, let's do the next one.
Let's do-
Say bye.